Imagine this. It is 7 in the morning. The sun is just coming up. You walk into your kitchen, pour yourself a glass of orange juice, maybe grab a banana or a piece of toast, and you think you are starting the day in a healthy way. But what if I told you that the very first choice you make in the morning, the fruit you pick up without thinking twice, could be the reason why your circulation, especially down there, is slowly fading? Most men over 60 believe their struggles with energy, stamina, or performance are simply because of age. They assume their body is naturally giving up, that it is out of their control. But I have seen the same pattern again and again in my patients. It is not just about age. It is about what is on your plate within the first hour after waking. That moment is critical. Your blood vessels are more vulnerable, your nitric oxide levels are at their lowest, and your arteries are either waiting for help or quietly hardening. Now, here is the part that shocks most men when they hear it. The difference between feeling sluggish, disconnected, and powerless versus feeling energized, confident, and strong can come down to something as simple as choosing the right fruit in the morning. That choice can decide whether your blood flows freely through your body, including the places that matter most for intimacy, or whether that blood flow gets strangled, restricted, and cut off. You see, in America, we are surrounded by fruit. Supermarkets are stacked with bananas, apples, oranges, grapes, blueberries, watermelon. They look harmless. They look healthy, and most of them are. But here is the hidden truth. Some fruits eaten at the wrong time of day, in the wrong way, or in the wrong form, like juices loaded with sugar, can actually work against you, tightening circulation instead of supporting it. And at the same time, 5 specific fruits, when eaten in the morning, have the exact opposite effect. They work with your body. They naturally widen your arteries, feed your blood vessels, and restore the nitric oxide your body is no longer making enough of after 60. These are not exotic or expensive superfoods. They are right there in the American supermarket. Easy to find, easy to eat, and in many cases you may already have them in your kitchen. Yet almost every man I see ignores them or eats them in the wrong way, and the result is the same story. Cold hands and feet, weaker firmness in the morning, legs that tire too quickly, and a quiet decline in confidence that feels irreversible. Let me tell you about one of my patients. We will call him Jim. He is 67, a retired truck driver. Every morning for years, Jim grabbed a glass of store-bought orange juice and a banana. He thought he was doing the right thing, but he told me, "Doc, I feel like my energy dies before noon. My legs feel heavy, and the mornings I used to look forward to with my wife, they just don't happen anymore." He thought it was age, but after a few weeks of making one simple shift in his breakfast fruit, his mornings changed completely. He noticed warmth returning to his hands and feet, his energy lasted into the afternoon, and yes, his confidence in the bedroom quietly came back. This is not magic. It is not a pill. It is science. The right fruits deliver compounds like anthocyanins, polyphenols, vitamin C, and citrulline, all of which trigger your body to open blood vessels, restore circulation, and bring oxygen-rich blood exactly where you need it. The wrong fruits or the wrong forms like processed juice do the opposite. They spike blood sugar, increase inflammation, and quietly block the very arteries that carry your vitality. So the big question is this: which fruits are your allies and which ones are quietly working against you? In the next few minutes, I am going to share the 5 most powerful morning fruits for men over 60. These are the ones that research shows can bring back circulation down there, and they are simple, safe, and natural. But before we dive into the list, I want you to pause and reflect on this. When was the last time you really felt like yourself in the morning? Do you remember waking up with energy, with warmth in your body, with confidence in your stride? If that has been slipping away, I need you to know something important. It is not gone forever. It is not too late. Your body still knows how to heal. You just have to give it the right tools, starting with what you put on your plate in the first hour of your day. Stay with me, because in just a moment, you will see how something as ordinary as a handful of blueberries or a slice of watermelon can do what expensive pills often fail to deliver. Stronger circulation, steadier energy, and renewed vitality, all from natural foods your body understands. My name is Dr. Lily Anderson. For more than 20 years, I have dedicated my career to men's health, nutrition, and the science of aging. I have worked with thousands of men across America, from retired teachers to former athletes, from construction workers to corporate executives. And no matter who they are, one thing is always the same. When circulation begins to weaken, life begins to feel smaller. Energy shrinks, confidence fades, relationships grow quiet. I want you to hear this clearly. What you are experiencing is not weakness. It is not a personal failure. It is biology. And biology can be supported, repaired, and even renewed if you give your body the right materials. That is what I have been teaching my patients for 2 decades. Now, many men are told that their only option is a prescription. You know the ones, pills that promise quick results but never address the deeper problem. They may work for a night, but they do not restore your circulation. They do not rebuild the arteries that have carried you through a lifetime. They do not make you feel strong again when you wake up in the morning. At best, they cover the symptom. At worst, they create dependence. What I am here to show you is something different. Your body is not broken. It is waiting for the right signals, the right nutrition, to turn circulation back on where it matters most. And some of the most powerful tools you can use are not in a pill bottle. They are in your supermarket produce aisle. They are fruits that your body recognizes, understands, and responds to naturally. In this video, I am going to share with you 5 of the most effective morning fruits for men over 60. Each one is backed by real science. Each one has been studied for its ability to open arteries, reduce inflammation, and restore nitric oxide, the very molecule your body needs to make blood flow strong again. And each one is safe, affordable, and easy to add to your breakfast, starting tomorrow morning. By the end of this video, you will know not only which fruits to choose, but also why they work, how to prepare them, and the small adjustments that make them most effective for men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s. You will also hear real stories from men just like you who felt their vitality slipping away and discovered that it was not too late to bring it back. So let me set the expectation. This is not about overnight miracles. It is about building a foundation each morning that restores your circulation one day at a time. And the payoff is not just in the bedroom. Stronger circulation means more energy in your legs when you walk, warmer hands and feet in the winter, better stamina when you play with your grandkids, and a calmer, healthier heart. If you stay with me through this video, you are going to walk away with something far more valuable than a quick tip. You are going to have a plan, a natural, science-backed, practical plan that can change the way you feel in the mornings and beyond. So let us begin. The very first fruit on our list might look simple, but inside, it carries one of the most powerful circulation-restoring compounds nature has ever created. Fruit number 1, blueberries, the tiny blue powerhouse. If I could put one fruit on every breakfast table for men over 60, it would be blueberries. They are small, sweet, easy to eat, and yet they carry some of the most powerful circulation-supporting compounds found in nature, anthocyanins. Anthocyanins are plant pigments, the very molecules that give blueberries their deep blue color. But inside your body, they act like natural mechanics for your blood vessels. They calm inflammation, they relax stiff arteries, and they help your body release nitric oxide, the gas that signals blood vessels to open and carry oxygen-rich blood exactly where you need it. Clinical studies show that eating just 1 cup of blueberries in the morning can improve something called flow-mediated dilation, or FMD, by up to 2%. That number might sound small, but in vascular science, it is significant. It means your arteries are expanding better, allowing smoother circulation through your legs, your heart, and yes, your pelvic region. One of my patients, a 70-year-old former smoker, began adding half a cup of frozen blueberries to his plain yogurt 3 mornings a week. Within 2 months, his blood pressure dropped by 7 points. His hands no longer felt icy in the mornings. And he told me, with a shy smile, that he no longer needed the same dose of his prescription for performance. That was his body responding to natural food, not chemicals. If you want to try blueberries, the best time is right in the morning when your nitric oxide levels are lowest. You can add them to oatmeal, blend them in a smoothie, or simply eat them by the handful. And if you are worried about sugar, let me put that to rest. 1 cup of blueberries has less sugar than a slice of bread, and the fiber inside them helps your body release that sugar slowly, without spikes. For men over 60, that means steady energy and steady circulation. Fruit number 2, pomegranate, the royal circulation restorer. For thousands of years, kings considered pomegranates a symbol of strength and stamina. Today, modern science tells us why. Each ruby red seed inside a pomegranate is loaded with polyphenols, plant compounds that not only protect your blood vessels from damage, but also supercharge nitric oxide production. Researchers have found that drinking just 4 ounces of pure pomegranate juice in the morning can improve arterial function within hours. That is how fast it works. Polyphenols like L-glutathione and anthocyanins keep your blood vessels flexible and prevent nitric oxide from breaking down before it can do its job. The result is a smoother flow of oxygen-rich blood through your entire body. Take Edward, 68. He came to me complaining of cold feet, heavy legs, and low energy. He thought it was just aging. I asked him to try one simple change. Add a small glass of pomegranate juice to his breakfast. 3 weeks later, he returned with warm hands, a lighter step, and a big smile. His doctor even confirmed better circulation on follow-up scans. If you want to use pomegranate, make sure it is pure juice, not a cocktail with added sugar. 4 to 6 ounces is enough. Or, if you prefer, add the fresh seeds to your morning yogurt or salad. The key is consistency. Over time, pomegranate trains your blood vessels to stay open and responsive, which means better energy, better stamina, and better performance where it counts. Fruit number 3, watermelon, nature's citrulline supply. Most men think of watermelon as a summertime treat, but hidden inside those juicy red slices is an amino acid called citrulline. And citrulline is one of the most powerful natural precursors to nitric oxide. Here's how it works. Citrulline is converted in your body into arginine, and arginine then fuels nitric oxide production. The more nitric oxide, the more your blood vessels relax and widen, improving circulation not just in your heart and legs, but also in the arteries that support erectile function. That is why some researchers call watermelon nature's Viagra. One study found that men who added citrulline-rich watermelon juice to their diet experienced improvements in blood flow comparable to those seen with certain low-dose prescriptions, but without side effects. That is remarkable. I had a patient named Charles, 65, who often felt fatigued by noon and avoided long walks because his legs cramped. We added a simple step, a slice of watermelon with his breakfast. In less than a month, he noticed fewer cramps and more reliable energy throughout the day. If you want to try watermelon, eat it fresh in the morning. Even a small bowl delivers enough citrulline to support circulation. Avoid the pre-sweetened juices. They are loaded with sugar and stripped of the very compounds you need. And if you have diabetes, pair watermelon with a protein source like nuts or Greek yogurt to balance blood sugar. Fruit number 4, kiwi, the vitamin C champion. Kiwi might look unassuming with its fuzzy skin and small size, but it is one of the richest sources of vitamin C you can put on your plate. Why does vitamin C matter so much for men over 60? Because it supports the production of collagen and elastin, the proteins that keep your blood vessels strong and flexible. When collagen breaks down, arteries stiffen. When arteries stiffen, circulation suffers. Kiwi helps prevent that by delivering more vitamin C per gram than an orange, plus potassium and antioxidants that lower blood pressure and calm inflammation. In one clinical trial, adults who ate 2 kiwis a day saw their systolic blood pressure drop by 4 points in just 8 weeks. That is enough to reduce the risk of stroke and heart disease. But beyond heart health, kiwi supports circulation all the way to the pelvic floor, where flexible arteries mean better blood flow and better responsiveness. One of my patients, George, 72, used to joke that he had no reason to buy kiwis. But when his daughter bought him a bag, he gave them a try. He told me later, "Doc, I started waking up with energy I hadn't felt in years." That was not coincidence. That was his arteries opening up again. If you want to eat kiwi in the morning, you can slice it into your cereal, blend it into a smoothie, or simply cut it in half and scoop it out with a spoon. 2 small kiwis are enough to give your body a daily surge of vitamin C that supports both circulation and immune health. Fruit number 5, oranges. Whole, not juice. Finally, let's talk about one of the most familiar fruits in America, the orange. But here is the important distinction. Whole oranges are a circulation ally. Processed orange juice, especially the kind that comes in cartons or bottles, is often a circulation enemy. Why? Because the fiber in whole oranges slows down the release of sugar into your bloodstream, while still delivering high levels of vitamin C and bioflavonoids that strengthen your arteries and support nitric oxide. Juice strips away the fiber, leaving you with a sugar spike that inflames your arteries and works against the very circulation you are trying to protect. One of my patients, Tom, 66, started each day with a big glass of orange juice. He thought it was healthy, but his blood sugar was unstable, and he often felt drained by mid-morning. I asked him to switch, 1 whole orange instead of juice. In just a few weeks, he reported steadier energy, fewer sugar crashes, and warmer hands and feet. So if you love oranges, do not give them up. Just eat them whole. Slice them, add them to a salad, or simply peel and enjoy. That one change can mean the difference between inflamed arteries and nourished arteries, between sluggish mornings and mornings full of life. These 5 fruits, blueberries, pomegranate, watermelon, kiwi, and oranges, may seem simple, but together they are extraordinary. They work along different pathways, but toward the same goal: to restore nitric oxide, to keep arteries open, and to bring circulation back to the places that define your vitality. Let me share the story of Michael. He is 68 years old, a retired high school teacher from Ohio. For years, Michael carried a quiet frustration. He loved his morning routines, reading the paper, walking the dog, sipping coffee. But underneath, he felt something slipping. His energy was lower, his legs often cramped, and the mornings that once began with confidence and intimacy with his wife had grown quiet. When Michael came to me, he looked me straight in the eye and said, "Doc, I don't feel like myself anymore. I feel like I've aged 10 years in just the last 2. He had already tried the usual fixes, multivitamins, more coffee, even a prescription pill or 2, but nothing lasted. He didn't want a quick patch. He wanted his body back. We talked about his habits, especially breakfast. Every morning, Michael reached for toast, a glass of orange juice, and black coffee. It felt simple, but it wasn't giving his circulation the support it needed. His nitric oxide levels were already lower at his age, and the lack of fiber and antioxidants in his breakfast meant his arteries were tightening instead of opening. So I suggested a small shift, not an overhaul. I asked him to replace the juice with whole fruit, blueberries 3 times a week, a kiwi most mornings, and on weekends, a bowl of watermelon or a small glass of pomegranate juice with breakfast. He was skeptical. He told me, "Doc, you really think a handful of fruit is going to change my life?" I told him to just give his body a chance. 3 weeks later, Michael came back. He walked into my office lighter on his feet. "I don't know how to explain this," he said, "but my legs don't feel like concrete anymore. I actually look forward to my morning walks." He also noticed something else. His mornings with his wife were starting to feel normal again, not forced, not dependent on a pill, just his body working the way it was supposed to. After 2 months, the changes were even more striking. His blood pressure had dropped by 8 points. His blood work showed improved cholesterol. But what mattered most to Michael wasn't the numbers. It was the way he felt. He said, "I feel like I got a part of myself back. I'm not hiding behind a prescription. I feel present. I feel alive." This is the power of consistency. It wasn't magic. It wasn't overnight. It was the quiet, steady work of natural foods that his body could recognize and use. Fruits rich in anthocyanins, polyphenols, citrulline, and vitamin C had turned his mornings from a struggle into a foundation of strength. Michael's story isn't unique. I've seen it repeated again and again with men in their 60s and 70s. They think it is too late. They think the decline is inevitable. And then, with one small change, adding the right fruit to breakfast, they discover it is not too late at all. The truth is, your body doesn't stop wanting to heal just because you are older. It only needs the right tools. And sometimes those tools are as simple as a handful of blueberries, a slice of kiwi, or a glass of pomegranate juice. Now let us slow down for a moment and look at what is really happening inside your body. Because when you understand the why, it is easier to believe that something as simple as fruit can change how you feel. Circulation is like a highway system. Your arteries and veins are the roads, and your blood is the traffic. When you were younger, those roads were wide, smooth, and flexible. Cars moved freely. Blood flowed with power and speed. But as you age, those roads begin to stiffen. Tiny cracks form in the pavement. Cholesterol starts to build up along the edges like debris on the road, and before long, the traffic slows. That is exactly what happens to your circulation after 60. At the center of this process is a molecule called nitric oxide. Think of nitric oxide as the green traffic light for your arteries. When your body produces enough of it, your arteries signal, "Open up." Blood moves freely. Muscles and tissues get the oxygen they need. Confidence and performance return. But when nitric oxide drops, it is like every light turns red. Blood flow stops and starts. Energy fades. Firmness weakens. And you feel the difference. Here's the challenge. By the time you reach your 60s, your body produces far less nitric oxide than it did in your 30s. Some studies suggest as much as a 50% decline. That is why so many men at this age feel the same frustrations: cold hands and feet, heavy legs, and declining sexual responsiveness. It is not random, it is chemistry. This is where fruit steps in. Certain fruits contain natural compounds that act like fuel for your nitric oxide system. Blueberries deliver anthocyanins, which protect nitric oxide from breaking down too quickly. Pomegranate adds polyphenols that stimulate your body to release more of it. Watermelon provides citrulline, which your body turns into arginine, the raw material needed to make nitric oxide in the first place. Kiwi and oranges bring vitamin C and potassium, which strengthen the walls of your arteries so they can expand and stay open once nitric oxide does its job. Together, these fruits form a team. One helps you produce nitric oxide, another protects it. Another clears away the debris that blocks blood flow. It is like sending in road crews to fix cracks, sweep away obstacles, and keep the traffic lights green. And the effects are not abstract. In clinical studies, men who ate a cup of blueberries or drank a small glass of pomegranate juice showed measurable improvements in flow-mediated dilation, a fancy term that simply means their arteries were better at opening up. In other trials, watermelon increased blood flow in the penile arteries, leading to improved erectile function. Kiwi and oranges lowered blood pressure and reduced arterial stiffness, making circulation smoother. What makes this science so powerful is how quickly your body responds. Within hours of eating these fruits, nitric oxide levels rise. Within weeks, arteries become more flexible. And within a few months, men report real-world changes, more energy, stronger morning erections, steadier stamina, and a renewed sense of confidence. This is not about reversing age. Nothing can stop the calendar. but it is about giving your body back the ability to function at its best within the years you have. Your arteries are not doomed. They are dynamic, living tissues, and they respond when you give them the right fuel. So when you place a handful of blueberries on your oatmeal, or pour a glass of pomegranate juice, or slice open a kiwi, you are not just eating fruit. You are sending a signal to your body. Keep the blood flowing. Keep the lights green. Keep the traffic moving. And that simple choice can change how you feel, not just in the morning, but in every moment that matters. If you are listening to this and thinking, I'm too old for this, my body is already past the point of change, let me stop you right there. I have worked with men in their 70s and even 80s who thought exactly the same thing. They felt heavy, tired, embarrassed, and convinced that nothing would help. And yet, when they gave their body just one small chance, they discovered it was not too late. Your body is not against you. It has not given up. It is simply waiting for you to feed it what it understands. And the truth is, you don't need to transform your entire life overnight. You don't need to give up every comfort food or start running marathons. All you need is one small, consistent step, and breakfast is the perfect place to begin. Think about it. Every morning is a blank slate. You have a choice. Reach for something that drains you or choose something that builds you up. One handful of blueberries, one kiwi sliced into your cereal, half a cup of pomegranate juice. These are not difficult changes. They don't cost a fortune. They don't require complicated routines, but they send a powerful message to your body. I'm still here. I still care. I'm still fighting for my health. I remember a man named Harold, 72 years old. He came to me defeated. He told me, "Doc, I've given up. I don't think my body can bounce back anymore." But he agreed to start small, just one kiwi every morning, nothing else. After 3 weeks, he noticed something strange. He wasn't dragging through the afternoons anymore. His energy felt steadier. After 2 months, he said to me, "I feel like I woke up from a fog. I didn't think I'd ever get that back." That is the power of consistency. Not perfection, not overnight miracles, just a quiet habit repeated day after day. You might think a piece of fruit is too simple to matter, but when that piece of fruit feeds your arteries, protects your nitric oxide, and restores circulation, it adds up. And when you stack those days together, you begin to feel younger than the number on your birthday cake. So let me ask you this. What is stopping you from starting tomorrow? Fear, doubt, habit? All of those are normal, but they don't have to control you. Because every morning you wake up, you get another chance, another blank page, another decision to write a new story. I want you to know something very important. It is not too late. You are not too far gone. I have seen men in their 80s regain warmth in their hands and feet. I have seen couples rediscover intimacy they thought was lost forever. I have seen men who felt invisible come back to life with energy and confidence, and every single one of them started small. So tomorrow morning, when you step into your kitchen, remember this moment. Remember that your body is listening. Remember that one small choice can begin to turn things around. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to do it all at once. Just start. One fruit, one morning, one decision, and let the momentum build from there. Because the truth is, your body is waiting, your arteries are waiting, and your best mornings are not behind you. They can still be ahead of you if you choose to take that first small step. Now that you've made it this far, I want to leave you with one final thought. Your health, your energy, your confidence. They are not things you have lost forever. They are parts of you waiting to be awakened. And the first step begins not with a prescription, not with something complicated, but with the simple fruit you choose to put on your plate tomorrow morning. You have just learned about 5 powerful fruits that science has proven can restore circulation, protect your arteries, and give you back the vitality that age has been trying to steal. Blueberries to fuel nitric oxide, pomegranate to protect it, watermelon to build it. kiwi to strengthen your arteries, oranges, whole and fresh, to keep your blood vessels flexible. But here is the truth. Knowledge without action is nothing more than a story. If you don't use it, nothing changes. The only way you will feel the difference is if you take what you've heard today and put it into practice. Start small. Tomorrow morning, add just one of these fruits to your breakfast. Just one. And pay attention to the way your body responds. If you felt even a spark of hope while listening, I encourage you to take that spark and turn it into action. And if this message resonated with you, you are not alone. There are thousands of men your age facing the same doubts, the same frustrations, the same quiet fears. By commenting below, by sharing which fruit you will try first, you are not just committing to yourself. You are encouraging someone else who needs to hear that it's possible. So let me ask you to do something simple. If you are ready to take this step, drop a 1 in the comments. If you're still unsure, type 0 and tell me what is holding you back. I read every single comment, and your words may help another man realize he's not fighting this battle alone. If this video gave you something practical, something hopeful, then consider sharing it with a friend, a brother, or a neighbor. You never know whose life might change because you cared enough to pass it along. And if you want more science-based natural strategies to strengthen your health and your confidence after 60, make sure to subscribe so you never miss what's next. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about food, it's about reclaiming your story. It's about proving to yourself that you are not too old, you are not too late, and you are not beyond change. Tomorrow morning, when you hold that piece of fruit in your hand, I hope you remember these words. You are still strong, you are still capable, and your best days are still ahead. Take care of yourself, stay consistent, and I'll see you in the next video.